Good evening, my fellow peoples. Welcome back to the Sandlot Bros podcast, episode 4. We're just
Cuatro.
talk about some NFL free agency frenzy, some NBA rundowns, and then some Monday Night Raw drama. I'll try to keep it a little shorter than usual, because we kind of ramble a little bit. But if you want to kick it off, with one of our top news for the over the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a little break, 6 days off before we get to you guys. Do apologize. We gonna be very consistent. Uh, but let's start off right now. I mean, we got a lot of news coming in, a lot of things, free agency kicking off today. Let's go to the man that the money man. Listen, record breaking contract. Josh Allen agreed to 6 year, $330 million contract through season 2030, 250 guaranteed money. Guaranteed. I mean, he broke Deshaun Watson's record that was set a couple of years ago, 230. I mean, listen, top three quarterback in the league. He's a dog. He's getting his money. What you think, Steve? What you think?
I mean, it's a no-brainer. I don't know about money. Free agency in football is a little different than any other sport. I think it's usually hit or miss. There's no kind of in between.
Yeah,
Uh, luckily, it is a quarterback position, but like you said, we have seen quarterbacks get this big contract and then they kind of just disappear into the
yeah.
void of space. But obviously, Josh Allen's a different kind of animal. If you're the Bills, you kind of have to do this. He's kind of been doing the most he probably can besides get you to the Super Bowl, but he just keeps running into Patrick Mahomes, and they just got to
Yeah.
get him the help he needs to get over that hump because he doesn't play bad necessarily in those games. They just lose. It's never like
Yeah.
a blowout or anything crazy like that. They just it comes down to like a last possession or two, and they just Chiefs always come out on top. But I think the Bills are really coming up in the last couple of years. I feel like they will get over this hump of the Chiefs, and that's literally all they have to do is get over that hump. And I think their confidence will shoot skyrocket. I just think it's a mind game right now for Josh Allen. But again, I think it's a great deal. The money wise, again, it's happening in all sports where everyone's kind
Yeah.
of the numbers just keep going up and up and up. We've seen it in baseball this year with Soto. We see it in the NBA all the time now with these max contracts, and now we're seeing it in the NFL. So I think these contracts are just gonna get bigger, which kind of can hurt some teams, especially those smaller market teams. But I mean, kind of it is what it is at this point. But I think it's a great move for the Bills. They locked up their dude. He's not. They're not. They don't got to worry about him going nowhere, and they could just keep building around him. And I think they'll be good for the next 6 years.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. The only issue is that I have with them is, like you said, you guarantee money, and it's kind of hard to fill up a roster of 52 when
Hmm.
you're guaranteeing a boatload of money to one guy. So let's see what they do. I mean, you've seen the Chiefs do it. They paid Patrick Mahomes a lot of money, and then now they're building a lot through the draft and things like that. But let's see what the Bills do. I mean, listen, there's probably got a couple moves to make right now. I mean, just looking at them, receiver core probably needs a little bit of a boost.
Yeah.
But listen, I like it. I love the team. Like you said, it's only the Chiefs and the Chiefs that are continuously beat down on this team. But let's take it from one quarterback to another. Mr. Sam Darnold.
Yep. X Jet.
Ex-Jet. I mean, sorry. You leave New York and you just remember that you were a great quarterback in college and was absolutely balling last year for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so Sam Darnold goes to Seattle, replaces Geno as Geno gets traded, goes back to Pete Carroll. But yeah. Uh, what you think, man? Sam Darnold was your guy, man. The Jets. What you thinking,
Yeah.
Steve?
I think I don't know. I'm not unsure why the Vikings let him go. He was really explosive with them last year, and he played really well as well. Um, but I mean, they basically got younger. The Seahawks did with Sam
Mm-hmm.
Darnold here, and they also picked up I believe it was a third round pick and they do save some cap money as well with Sam Darnold. So
Yeah,
they do have a higher upside with him. Did they get better? I think they do get a little bit better. So like if I had to grade it, I'll probably give them like a solid little B. But
yeah,
it is 3 years, 100 mil, 100 and a half mil. But I think it's a good fit for him. I think he'll do good over there at Seattle, especially with that defense as well, and replacing Geno. I think, like I said, they get younger, and I think he is a little bit of a passer than Geno. So I think they'll fare out well.
yeah. 100% agree with you on every category. Now, I mean, we'll talk about it in a second, but they also get a second round draft pick for DK Metcalf. So you take a hit as you let go of DK and you also let go of Tyler Lockett. Right now you're looking at Jackson Smith, Najima. I don't know how to pronounce his name now. I ain't gonna lie to you. But you got Kenneth Walker the third as your running back. And I mean, Noah Fant's still there. I mean, it seems like this team never truly ever hits a reset button. They just get this quarterback and build them, and then all right, then the Seahawks are somehow in the playoffs again. Listen, I think this team is good. I think they're, like I said, they're gonna get a second round draft pick this year as well. Like I said, they built through the draft, get some good guys. I mean, you're not paying the quarterback a ton of money, so that means you could spread your money out a little more. And I
Right.
think this team could really be in a hunt next year. Let's see. Like I said, let's see how Sam Darnold does. Like I get he had a great year. I mean, a good year. I don't want to say great year, but let's see if he can now do it twice, not do it three times. But I have like coming out of college, I had a lot of confidence in him. Listen, sometimes it doesn't work for one team and it works for another team.
Right.
Sorry, Jet fans, but yeah, I mean, 100%. I think Sam Darnold was a great move for the Seattle Seahawks.
All right. And then speaking of DK, I guess you can just lead into that one. How do you feel of where he went? How do you think it impacts the team? Is it a big loss for Seattle? How do you feel about that?
Listen, it's something that he wanted. So in the Seattle wasn't going to pay him the money that the Steelers are going to pay him now, which is like five for what was it?
150.
Yeah, five for 150. This Seattle wasn't going to pay that. They did the correct move in paying a quarterback less money than a skilled wideout, which is good. Now you can probably get a rookie in there, making a rookie contract, so you have more money to spread around, spread the wealth.
Right.
And I mean, listen, we see if Sam Darnold plays good up to par, this Seahawks team, no matter who's coaching them, always seem now since this Russell Wilson Legion of Boom era, seem to know what to do when building a roster. So I like it. Honestly speaking, I think we'll come back and we'll look at this trade in this offseason for the Seahawks as a win, honestly speaking.
Yeah. All right. And then on the flip side of that receiver, we had Devontae Adams going to the Rams, and I think that's a huge weapon.
Hmm.
Obviously, there's talks of Cooper Cup, which we'll get to in a little bit, leaving the team, but grabbing someone like Deontay Adams, who is usually on the field for most of the season. He rarely gets hurt, and I think you're getting him on a little bit of a steal because obviously he was with the Jets there and he didn't really play well after he got
Yeah.
traded. But it's only 2 years, 46 mil, and then you pair him up with someone like Matthew Stafford who just loves slinging the ball. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be very scary. And they already have a good receiving core as well, and then you have Devontae Adams, who's like he can draw the double coverage, but I doubt they'll put the double coverage on him. Uh, with
Puka
that,
baby.
yeah, I think he'll draw it, but it's gonna be a scary Rams team, especially that we know they're good. We know that the defense is good, and they keep Stafford and Jimmy as a backup. So I mean, even if God forbid Stafford goes down, Jimmy's still a great backup quarterback, if you ask me.
Hmm.
So I think this team is gonna be very, very scary, and it's gonna be a team to look out for sure. If they can obviously stay healthy, is a thing in football. It's not like any other sport. Healthy is like being healthy in football is like one of the biggest key factors. So if they can stay healthy on the field, I think they'll be a big threat in the come playoff time if they
Yeah,
get there.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, you give Sean McVay a weapon like Devontae Adams is kind of scary. I kind of wish they'll keep Cooper Cup. I
Yeah.
mean, I see why they want to get rid of him, save some salary cap. Hopefully they trade him, but I don't think they'll find a trade since he really they don't. It's not that they don't want him; they just want to save the money and build their roster somewhere else.
Right.
But imagine Puka, Cooper, and Devontae, and just Matthew Stafford coming off a play action, just slinging that thing. I mean, that's scary. But again, we're talking about Devontae and Puka. I mean, that's still a great 1-2, and then you got Demarcus Robinson as well. I mean, this team could be scary. It really comes down to health
Mm-hmm.
and just decision making. I think Sean McVay is an excellent offensive mind. I think this defense could be good.
Right.
Um, I like this team a lot too. I mean, I think there's a you can tell by some of the moves that are happening that there's some teams that are really going after it because it's wide open. Don't get me wrong, the Eagles are a force, and I think, I mean, way too early picks, but I think they're still favored to go back to the Super Bowl. But listen,
Right.
it's football. Any given Sunday, it could happen.
We saw with the
Anybody
Chiefs
can
at the
get
Super
hot.
Bowl.
Exactly. Like everyone had the Chiefs, but
Mm-hmm.
listen, things happen, man. People go down, and you never know. But like again, I like this move for Devontae. I like this move for the Rams. I think both parties will be win-win. But let's head right back into it with Devontae's former team, the New York Jets. It's clear they don't want Aaron Rodgers no more. They shift to another quarterback in Justin Fields for 2 years and $40 million, 30 million guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, as a New York Jets fan, how are you feeling this evening, this
Well,
night?
I feel I guess good. I mean, I knew
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers wasn't gonna give us much anyways. He was already old, then he got hurt. Coming back from that injury is not easy as a quarterback
Mhm.
because you rely on that foot a lot. So I didn't expect much either last year, and then he didn't play well either. So I think it's just there's no reason to just keep holding on to that. We just might as well just let him go. And if he plays well somewhere else, I mean, it's kind of the New York Jet thing to happen anyways. But I think picking up Justin Fields is gonna help us a lot with our young core with Bryce Hall and Garrett Wilson and Sauce and all of them. I think we'll have a good
Yeah.
young core, especially with Justin Fields. He can create without throwing the ball as well, so it brings that dual threat into effect with the Jets. Their O line wasn't great either, as that's why Aaron Rodgers got beat up so dang much. But I think this is a good signing. You don't lose out of this signing. You either see if Justin Fields can do something, or if not, then I mean it kind of is what it is. But if it is, and you get that superstar out of Justin Fields that everyone thought he was going to be out the draft, then it's a win. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's only a 2 year deal, but if you get the best out of Justin Fields, it helps the team, especially in our division, which is kind of strong right now with the Bills and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough for the Jets to make some noise, but at least a little bit of progression helps because obviously we know the defense is good. It was just an offense that just couldn't do anything. So if Justin Field can electrify that offense in some way, some form, I think they'll be good. How good? I don't know. Maybe 500, maybe under a little bit under 500, but anything more than that is a successful season in my eyes for the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, I agree. I'm kind of shocked at the deal in a sense of
Mm-hmm.
great move for the Jets, but I'm kind of shocked that Justin Fields didn't get more money. I mean, this is a quarterback driven league. I mean, he played
Yep.
great for the Steelers last year. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, very efficient. I mean, he just got wins. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to before they switched off to Russell Wilson. He just got wins. I mean, now you go Justin Fields. You give that playbook, you widen that playbook so much. Now you got a quarterback that can scram. You got a quarterback that can scramble, get out of the pocket, move around. You can get very, very creative now with Garrett Wilson. I don't think you see Alan Lazard in this team next year, but you can get, and then you got Brees Hall as well on that offense. But
Yep.
like I said, I would look for one more receiver. Uh,
Right.
Maybe Cooper Cup. I doubt he goes. I think he wants to win a championship, but
No, for sure.
maybe something in the draft. I'm not too sure for
Mm-hmm.
them, but like I said, maybe one more receiver. But that defense is great. You got the Williams brothers, you got Sauce, and you got Brandon Stevens, who you just got from Baltimore. So you put number one cornerback like Sauce with like Brandon Stevens. I think you're great. Defensively, you can lock up, you can get after the quarterback, and you can do a lot of great things. So I
Right.
mean, Jets, big win for the Jets. I like it. Want to see a couple more moves and then see what they do in the draft, but I like it for the Jets.
Yeah, for sure. Then I guess we can talk about the man himself, Cooper Cup.
Just
Obviously,
segueing into a lot of things here, man. You know?
yeah, it's just it's a little shocking for me just because he's been there for so long and he's been like their go-to guy, and they're just kind of just gonna let him go.
Yeah.
I, if I were them, I would try to get something, because obviously
Hmm.
when Cooper Cup is healthy, he's one of the best receivers in the league, and to let him go just to walk kind of hurts
For
me. And
free.
I'm not even a fan, but it hurts me to just know that they're letting that caliber of a player just walk. Um, Obviously, there's been some mentions of some teams. I'll just give you the top five teams that are being talked about right now. Um, Number one is the Cowboys.
Of
They need
course,
some
Cowboys are in on everybody.
yeah, they just need. For my understanding, they just need some reinforcements for around CeeDee Lamb, because he can't be the only one with Brandon Cooks. So I think Cooper Cup would open a lot of the field for the Cowboys, and
Yeah.
obviously the Seahawks would be a great fit, losing DK and then inserting Cup in there would be a deadly little fix there with Tyler Lockett and stuff like that. The Ravens was another team, which if he goes there, I don't know if he obviously if he comes back to what he was and you pair him up with Derrick Henry, Lamar, everyone else they already got there, Mark Andrews and them. That's pretty scary. The other team I heard was the Broncos, especially with Bo Nix, who had a pretty good year
Yeah.
last year, and I was pretty hyped to see that. And then you pair him up alongside Cortland Sutton, it would be a pretty scary duo there as well. And then the last team would be the Chargers. It's my least favorite one, but again, you pair him up with Justin Herbert. It's pretty scary as well. So
Um,
out of these five teams, where can you see him going more likely than not?
where can I see him going?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly speaking, I can see him going to the like to me it comes down to two teams if they want him, and I think these two teams will probably be front runners to him, and that's the Cowboys and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I think anytime you can add another weapon alongside CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks for the Cowboys, it's good. But I mean, as we've
Right.
seen so far today, Cowboys really haven't done anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a little shocking because you got guys on that team that can ball. You got CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Dak Prescott. You got Micah Parsons, good O line. I mean, um, and I forget his name, the cornerback. Slipping my mind. But whatever. Type it in the chat if you're here. But you got great players, good playmakers on that team. It almost feels like a Cooper Cup in the slot, hoping that opening that playbook a lot
Right.
more for them would click. But honestly speaking, Ravens, man, I want him to go to the Ravens. I mean, I think you pair him with Lamar, Derrick Henry, like you said, Mark Andrews, Zay Jones. I think this team is great. Like I said, give someone Lamar can pass the ball to. Lamar absolutely balled. I felt like Lamar should have been the MVP by far. Not by far. It was a close race, but I think he should have beat out Josh Allen. No disrespect, but I want him to go to the Ravens. Go to that slot, help Lamar win the chip. And that's the team I want him to go to.
Yeah, he'll look good in that purple for
Yeah,
sure. And I guess since we talk about some Ravens, we can go into some of your New York team, the Giants. They've been making some splashes here and there, not no crazy splashes, but they've been making some big additions to upgrade that
yeah,
team. So just run me down
100%.
how you like it. What was your favorite move they did so far? Obviously, they got a long way to go, but
100% long way to go. I think they fall almost into the same category, probably a step below the Jets in the same spot. I think they beef up the cornerback. You get Paulson, Abino from the Saints, who's a great man coverage
yeah,
person. You put him across side. What dude, I'm blanking on name. Dante Banks. And this team will be very good. on the cornerback situation. And I think you beef up your tackle. You get Roy Robertson Harris,
Right.
and you help Sexy Dexy and Dexter Lawrence. That's my guy. And I think this team is decently good. I'm a defensive guy. I think you win championships through defense, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then you give a 3 for 36 for Darius Slayton.
Yep.
Great locker room guy. He's loved in that locker room. That's all we ever hear. A bit of an overpay, maybe, but he'll be like. Listen, you gotta pay guys at the end of the day. It's the salary cap going up. You put him along, and then you put him alongside Malik Neighbors. Listen, this team. When you look at team on paper, this their defense should be good. You probably look to add maybe one more guy to rush the quarterback.
Right.
But it all comes down to draft.
Right.
When you look at this team, I mean, right now, no fucking Danny Jones. So who's your quarterback right now? It's Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, who they just re-signed the other day.
Yeah.
It really comes down to who you draft, to who you trade for. I mean, they're in for Aaron Rodgers. Eh, don't really want him. I made a tweet like, please don't give me Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and just do New York Jets 2.0, please God, no. Gladly, I mean, Devontae is still a great player, but Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's coming. It looks like right now reports are to the Steelers most likely. Good luck in that locker room with both Pickens and DK Metcalf, but this team always comes down to health for the Giants every year. If they end up getting Cam Ward or Sanders, I think rookies are going to be rookies. I think they'll be okay, but I think they
Right.
have a good receiver core, beefing up that O line, and beefing up that cornerback, and as well as D line. But yeah, you win the games in the trenches, D line, O line.
Yep. Unfortunately for those two New York teams, they got some ways to go before it's a little competitive there. But then we'll just take that straight into your one of your rivals in that division, the Commanders. They've been
Yeah.
making some moves over there.
Yep.
They signed Bobby Wagner to a 1 year deal. Signed
Mm-hmm.
Zach Ertz to a 1 year deal. I mean, they kept all these people. Obviously, they were on the team already, and then obviously they traded for Debo, and then they got Tunsil,
Yeah.
which is a big offensive lineman there or defense.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. You had it right. Offensive lineman, tackle.
Yeah,
I
OT.
mean,
So they making some
the
moves. They're trying to
yeah,
compete there.
they definitely are. Like when we did the Debo, I was like, oh, I love this move that they made for Debo, and then
Right.
they just continue making moves.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm just sitting not pretty right now.
Yeah, your
Like this is a
team isn't doing
clear
nothing.
cut. Hey, Cowboys, we know that we're better than you. It's us against the Eagles right now. Listen, I still got the Eagles. You still got to beat the defending champs. But
Correct.
wow, you had Debo, and then you had Lamar Tunsil, who's a great left tackle. You
Mm-hmm.
pair that guy now with Jaden Daniels, Brian Robertson Jr., Austin Eckler as well as your back as your second running back, and then you still got Scary Terry. You re-sign Zach Ertz, who it's just like he almost seems to just it's 3rd and 5, throw it down the middle, he's open, first down.
Yeah.
So I listen, I really love this for the Commanders. I really hate it because I'm a Giants fan and we still suck. Um, but listen, big shouts out to them, man. I mean, I really hope Jaden Daniels really starts to ball, man, and I think he really is with this roster.
Yeah, and that's the one good thing about football is that these small market teams end up becoming real good just through building and drafting. And we see that with Commanders now. They have a young, nice little core, and now they're able to build on top of that, which is awesome. So that you love to
Yeah,
see that in any sport when a small market team or not like an expected team that's always there to come up and arise and compete. It's always awesome. So shout out to them for making that competitive. And obviously it's gonna be like probably a three-way battle there in the East. Uh,
two-way.
I mean, yeah, it's just I don't want to upset any Cowboy fans. You know how they get sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
Cowboy fans are like,
they signed Javante Williams, if that counts for anything.
Nah, I think it'll be competitive. I think the Cowboys will be good. I mean, they're getting
Yeah,
Dak back.
for
It
sure.
just I don't know. It just always seems they get to the spot and they just like crumble, man. I don't know. They start off hot, slow down, someone gets hurt.
Right.
But I mean, they listen. They got capable players.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
this division top three will be very interesting, like you said.
All right, and then that should wrap up our NFL free agency so far in the offseason. Obviously, there's a lot more moves, but
Yeah,
we'd be here talking for days if we were to talk about each and every single move that every team made. So we just kind of highlighted like the key players of some teams or the big noise that was made
yeah,
around the offseason. So obviously, if any more news comes out of it, obviously NFL is
yeah.
coming up
Shot,
here
yeah,
soon, but there's gonna be a lot of more moving pieces here shortly. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a big name that's still out there, so there's still a lot of big names out there that are kind of just waiting, and obviously Cooper Cup waiting to see where he goes. So, whenever we get those other key players coming in on NFL, either trades or signings, especially draft night, I'm pretty sure there'll be some moves there.
why not?
We'll
Yep, 100%.
we'll keep y'all updated on that. But we're just gonna transition this to some NBA around the league, some scores, any top key performers out there. Yeah, I don't know if you want to head on and pick a game and highlight something or a team, and then we can just trade back and forth off that.
Yeah, 100%. I'll start. I mean, like I said, we're gonna keep. Listen, if it was a team that's two teams, we're not really gonna go too deep dive into it. I do want to start with. uh, let's go start with the East games first. We had Washington versus Toronto. Not too big of a game.
Right.
Uh, Alex Sarr. Listen, this two teams that are trying to just get some shots up. Lawson off the bench, 32 off the bench. I mean, listen, like we said, we're not gonna get too deep into it with some of these teams right now. I mean,
Oh,
Washington's trying to get um whoa, I was gonna say Cooper Cup. But no. Wrong sport. But yeah, they're fighting for the number one draft pick. Not too much to go off that game. Toronto wins a game that they should have won. Pretty
well,
much.
I do got a good one for you, and it
Yeah, talk to
seems
me.
every time we do a podcast, this guy throws up some digits.
Telling me we should do a podcast every day. It would be godlike.
And it's Quentin Grimes again, dropping
Yes, sir.
35 on the Hawks. Obviously, Hawks still come up on top with Daniels dropping 25, 9, and 6. But this has had to be the third, fourth time we do a podcast, and it's over. Either I remember, I think it
Yeah.
was last time was like 40 points, and now it's 35. So maybe we're his good luck thing. Whenever we do a
It's
podcast,
like every time we were
like he
like,
just
oh,
goes
let's
off.
do.
I don't understand. But
Yeah,
it's
every
good. Like I
time.
said, like obviously the Sixers are in a bad spot. Embiid's hurt. Maxi's not kind of playing well. That whole team is kind of iffy right now. And there's obviously big talks of having Embiid medically retire or trading him. So I don't know what they're gonna do over there. Obviously you want to see Embiid on the court because he's like one of those top three centers when he's on the court and,
Yeah.
even a top player when he's on the court. And it's just more exciting when those like a big team market like Philly's competing, and it kind of sucks that they're just not making any noise at all. So we'll see what happens with Embiid in the future. But I just wanted to highlight Quentin Grimes going crazy again on the pod,
Yes, sir.
even though they took the loss, but he's doing his thing. So that brings some value to him. Teams are gonna look at that and be like, when he's the go-to guy, he can score he can put the ball in the hoop. So that's cool for him. So I'm happy for him
Yeah,
to see
I,
that.
I love me some Quentin Grimes, which next week. But listen, balling. We should do a podcast every other. I mean, if it was on the next every day, I'd do a podcast, but not right now, buddy. You keep your 35 points somewhere else. But I think you hit the nail on the head for this team. I think right now it's just about losing games and staying under their. They got to stay under six.
Top
So
six
if they
protected,
do,
yeah.
and yeah, anything one through six, they're perfect. They keep their pick. Anything after that, they
It's a
lose it,
yeah, yeah.
and you lose it to the Thunder, and Thunder get crazy. I want to highlight a team.
All right.
Hornets coming out and beating the Miami Heat.
Mm,
Miles Bridges, 35. Mark Williams,
mm.
24. Should have been a Laker. LaMelo, shockingly, struggled tonight with only 15 points. Honestly speaking, this Miami team. without Jimmy Butler, since I wouldn't say without because Jimmy Butler has missed a lot of games, but they've been struggling. They've been
Yeah.
struggling. They won a couple games, but since the trade of Jimmy Butler, they're under 500. So, only reason why I highlight is they can drop to 10th, which would keep them in the play-in, but dropping to 10th is not good because you got to win 2 games though.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, like, even when Jimmy's not on the court, it's just his presence. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes that's all you need is a presence or someone in the locker room to kind of hype you up or, just be there as a teammate or as a leader. And it shows once you left that the team is kind of struggling and they're not as good as they once were, even with Jimmy not even on the court half the time. But I did see a highlight from the Hornets game that LaMelo did drop Tyler Hero. He ain't played good, but he got a highlight. He probably passed the ball right after that because that's what he tends to do, anyways. But it's good to see the Hornets shine a little bit in a low scoring game for once because usually their games are like in the 140s or 130s
Yeah.
because there's not a lot of defense. But obviously Miles Bridges is a fantastic young player as well, with Lamelo as well. So it's good to see him shine. Obviously Lamelo didn't play good, but they got the win, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't care how he played as long as they win because
Yep.
he just wants to win. So shout out to the Hornets for taking the dub. Don't really want to see them win because I'd rather have them draft. But who am I? But moving on from that Hornets Heat game, I'm gonna take you to the Laker game where they dropped the ball on this one. No pun
Yeah.
intended. But they lose to the Nets, and for a Laker team that was so hot, dropping a dropping a game on a team you should beat without a problem, it's kind of tough. Because like I said, that West is so tight that losing a game
Mhm.
like that is gonna push in a tough spot. I mean, they're right now. I think it's like 3 games separates them from 2 to 5.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't be losing games like that, especially if you're the Lakers and you wanna keep away from certain teams because certain teams are just a little more organized than the Lakers and more like defensive, offensive. Like they flow better than the Lakers. Obviously, Lakers have
They
Luca and LeBron, but
Yeah, they can't verse a team with a good center, man. They're gonna get smoked.
yeah, and I think that's what you look at as a if you're in the Lakers and try to avoid as much as possible because you can get past some of these teams, but some of these teams you're gonna run into those good centers and they're just gonna eat you alive, and it's not gonna be
Yeah.
pretty. But so they gotta. I mean, they've been rolling, so it's not nothing too. They've been like 8-2 in the last 10 games. They are on a 2-game losing streak, so that's something to pay my attention to.
Oh,
But
LeBron.
yeah, but I think they'll be fine for playoffs and stuff like that. But again, they just can't lose to those teams like the Nets and stuff, and just try to compete for that second seed as well.
Yeah, a couple things to highlight for me just looking at like the Lakers and
Mm,
Austin Reeves. I know he's come back from injury last couple games. I know the Knicks he wasn't hot at all. I
right,
look and Luca he'll probably tell you he needs to shoot better than 30%. Without LeBron, without Jackson Hayes, I think this is still you still got to look at this as a must win.
right.
I mean, bright spot for for the Lakers is Gabe Vincent. Looks like the Miami Heat gave Vincent.
Fingers crossed.
So
Yep.
shouts out to him. I mean, he is the reason why they beat the Knicks a couple nights ago when J Jalen Brunson got hurt. Um, but listen, must win. They didn't win, so I know there's no LeBron for a couple weeks. I look at Jackson Hayes coming back,
Mhm.
hopefully sooner rather than later. The center depth for the Lakers is so questionable right now. You had Alex Len start the game for you. I mean, yeah. I mean, you have Trey Jamison the third coming off the bench for you as your second center right now. So
Sure.
yeah. I want to take you over to a we'll save that game for the Denver game for a little bit, but listen, big team first second seed right now. Boston versus Utah. Like I said, these are games that you need to win. All right. You sit Jason Tatum, you sit Al Harford, you still get the win. And that's what this team is about.
Right.
Sam Hauser, Steve. 33. points. 11 for 23, 9 for 19, 3 point. I know once he saw Jason Tatum wasn't playing, his eyes lit up like I'm gonna just shoot the ball. Um, Jalen Brown does play against 26. Drew Holiday just doing Drew Holiday things with Derek White with 18 off the bench. Sorry, starting. You go over to the Jazz, team that's playing their young guys right now. No longer marketing plays today, just playing their young guys and John Collins, Bryce Sensabaugh balling 28 for Collins, 22 for Bryce Sensabaugh. That's all what this Jazz team needs to do. Play their young kids,
Right.
see who is sticking with this team. Um, but yeah, that's it. I mean, right now they're 15 and 50. They're trying to get Cooper Flag. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Got that first round draft
if
pick right now.
if he don't stay.
Exactly. But that's a different story for another day.
And then I know
Um,
we
yeah,
spoke about
take it
Jimmy
away.
earlier. He dropped a triple double today. So again, things that the Heat just missed. Like he can score, he can rebound the ball, he can pass the ball, kind of do it all. So he dropped triple double. He had 15, 10, and 10 for the Warriors. Warriors end up beating the Blazers 130 to 120. Again, just one of those teams you have to beat. And like I said, the Warriors have been rolling, so it's good to see that. And again, like we keep saying, it's not a team you want to see. So
Mm-mm.
they just won I think it was like their fifth straight game now. So they're rolling. They're getting that chem in. So and like again, they're not even fully healthy. So it's gonna be scary once they get to that point. Hopefully they
Yeah.
can get. Hopefully they get those guys back a little bit before the playoffs, so they can get some games in together. But right now they're looking good, man, and it's good to see. Obviously, you want to see a team like the Warriors in the playoffs and competing at a high level.
Yeah. 9-1 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, they're rolling.
Last loss was March 1st against Philly. Go figure, brother. But yeah, 100%. Not a team you want to face right now. They're the sixth seed. Slowly and slowly climbing up.
Hmm.
They're 3.5 away from the Rockets. I mean, right now, if the playoffs started today, they versus the Nuggets, and that would be a great matchup.
Yep.
But like you said, they're not even 100% ready. Not ready. Healthy to get
Right.
rolling. So again, once Kaminga comes back from his ankle injury, which right now there's still no timetable, not sure what's going on there. But once Kaminga comes back, I kind of question where I would put him, either starting or coming off the bench. I think right now you're rolling. I think you put him off the bench.
Yeah.
Only thing I question is the Warriors have these like young guys, and this isn't for this year. And I wonder how they mesh with Jimmy, like some of these young guys next year. Because yeah, right now it's a honeymoon phase right now for the Warriors. They're balling. They think they can take the world. I mean, they're 9-1 in their last 10. So, but yeah, that's future reference stuff.
Right.
We'll go down the road. But yeah, they're rolling right now. I mean, listen, what's the last game we got? We got our
Or
favorite team.
some Spurs, some Suns.
Yeah, we can pick. Listen, we'll go. Let's do Mavericks. Let's do some Mavericks. Whatever.
Okay, okay,
Nobody's playing really for
okay.
the Mavericks. I mean, listen, tough blow. I mean, these last couple weeks for your
Yeah.
Mavericks time. Close your ears, close your eyes, man. But it's basketball, man. It happens in sports. But yeah, I mean, not much to say from that. Man.
It's
Dallas
a
wins 133 to 129. They beat
Spurs
I would
team.
say, weak Spurs team. I mean,
A
no
De'Aaron Fox.
Wemby, just Darian Fox, CP3 balling. I mean, Harrison Barnes 29, Vassell 24, Kendall Johnson 28.
Right.
I mean, things that you like to see from this team. I kind of want to see them play some more young kids, like Stephon Castle. I mean, he has a good upside. Darren Fox, you kind of wait what you see, what you can get from him and Wemby.
Right.
Clay on the other side, 26, Najee Marshall, 23, Kessler Edwards, 22, Spencer Dinwiddie, 28. This team is tough, man. Once you lose Kyrie, you're thinking if Kyrie stays healthy, then you get ready. You get healthy for PJ, Daniel Gafford, Lively, and then you get AD back. This can be a championship team, but Kyrie goes down, it sucks for Mavericks fans. Right now, you're just looking for who can play, who stay on your team for next year to build around. I really like Max Christie right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, they lose Kyrie, so I mean, I still think this team's gonna be really good, even when if when AD comes back and all those other guys come back. I still think this team's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Obviously they're not as good without Kyrie, but I still think they can make some damage. Like you said, those bigs are nothing to play with.
Hmm.
They're all pretty scary. They all can drop buckets, and then just throwing in Clay there who can catch and shoot whenever. Like I said, if they can get something out of their point guard, like how did Willie play today, if he can play like kind of not even at that potential, but like maybe half, like maybe drop
Hmm.
15, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, something like that, consistently, I think they'll make some noise and can upset a couple teams here and there. Whether they'll be as that championship favorite that they might have been with Kyrie on the team, I don't think so. But I still do think they'll be a little scary to play in the playoffs, especially if they do run into the Lakers. I
Yeah,
won't be
right
happy if
now,
I'm a Laker fan if I run into them.
yeah, right now they're 33 and 33. Uh,
Hmm.
at the 10 seed, so they're right on the cusp of making it to the playoffs. The one team that's right behind them, and I'll give you a little alley-oop, Steve, is Phoenix, who loses
A grueler.
a tough one. A tough one, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's just I don't know what's up with this team. We kind of keep pounding on it. It's because we honestly don't. I don't understand. Like they have good role players, they have the stars and all that stuff, and they just. I mean, Booker played 40 minutes tonight. Durant played 41 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
Durant ends with up 35. Booker has 26, and then kind of the supporting cast kind of didn't do much. I mean, Bobo played 16 minutes, only had 7 points, no rebounds. Don't understand how that happens.
Man is he's a tree. Can't get a damn board, man.
Right, so I don't know. Obviously, the Grizzlies are a good team, so I mean, you can't knock them
Yeah.
on that. Morant played well, 29 points, 12 assists. You don't see that from him a lot, but it's good for them. Sucks for the Suns. Like we've been saying, I mean, Memphis is right now sitting at is the fourth seed right now, one game behind those Lakers. So again, it hurts the Lakers when you lose that to today, and then having the Grizzlies play a tough Suns team and they come out on top by two. It's getting tight there in the West, and time is shrinking there for the Suns as because we're dwindling down at the end of the season. They're 3 games out of the Mavericks, so they're not looking pretty down there.
Yeah. 100%. This is a game. Listen, I fully understand that you might get someone to say, "Oh, but Bradley Beal didn't play today," but Triple J didn't play for the Grizzlies, neither did Zach Edey.
Right,
So, I mean, again, this is a game that you need to have, but it comes down to what the Suns struggle with, and that's defense, man. I mean, they don't got someone that can just slap the floor and say, "You're not scoring on me, man." It's just gonna give up 130 points. It's a race to who gets 130 points when it comes down to these two teams. I mean, not a lot of. There's a couple actions. You had Orlando versus Houston, which I'll go into a little bit. This was a 2000 Kobe Bryant-esque era score, 97 to 84. Now you're 120. I mean, you love these games watching it because I mean, it might suck because you're watching shots miss. They're usually falling, but
right,
it's fun to remember that defense can be played in this league, and you don't not everything has to be 120, 130
right.
to 120. We don't need to see 200 points plus scored every damn game. But listen, nail biter ish, kind of just offense sluggish for both teams. Paulo Banchero just seems like I always highlight him in these podcasts, but I mean he's balling 25, 5 and 3 off 36 minutes played. I mean, I love him. I can't wait to see what this team does in the future. They're still in the playoff hunt as of today. Jabari Smith on the other side with 20. Dylan Brooks 17 and Jalen Green 15 on the other end for the win for the Houston Rockets. But like I said, um, not crazy offensive, 97 to 84. Houston gets a much needed win as that, like we keep saying, keep highlighting that West is tight. and they
Mm-hmm.
gain a they win one. So now the Lakers, as previously stated, they're 3.5 back right now. So yeah,
Yeah. And if I'm the Magic, I'm calling up the Hornets in the offseason asking what they want for LaMelo Ball.
yeah, man. I mean, Orlando's tough, man. They've had a lot of injuries this year right now,
Yeah.
and they're missing Jalen Suggs. But you look at Suggs, he's not really. He's kind of a combo guard.
Yeah. I agree. He's more of a two, if anything.
Yeah, but he's not tall enough to be a two. But
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, everyone play. You have a 6'8" center sometimes in some teams. But
Right.
yeah,
All right. I think the other than the Nuggets game is the Bulls game that we haven't highlighted yet. But Bulls pull out that win, 121 to 103. Not a nail biter. Miles
no
Turner goes
Tyrese.
right. Miles Turner drops 15, 4, and 2, but Josh Giddey, yeah, Josh Giddey, dropped 29, 10, and 4. So the Bulls pull that one off. So it's good on the Bulls. They're still fighting for a spot, so that's awesome. They should get that spot because I think the Phillies are under them by like 4 or 5 games. So they
Yeah,
should be sitting pretty. Whether they make noise in the play-in, I doubt it. But you never know. It's basketball. Anyone can go crazy at any given moment. But yeah, Bulls pull that one off. And then I think besides the Knicks game that is finishing up here shortly,
yeah,
then after I guess we can highlight that. I'll let you highlight that, and then we can go into the
yeah.
Denver
You,
OKC
yeah.
game.
You take us into that Denver OKC game, man.
Oh, you want to do that one now?
Uh, yeah.
All right. Well, this was like a statement game. I take it as,
Hmm.
for Joker, and SGA. Joker goes off for 35, 18 and 8. SGA did his thing with 25, 3 and 7, but Nuggets win big, 140 to 127. I feel like this was like a reminder to OKC, like, hey, you still gotta beat us. Just because you're number one
Yep.
seed, we're still the favorites around here, and I feel like Joker went out on a mission today to kind of show like he wants that MVP in this matchup because obviously SGA is kind of the favorite right now. But then obviously Joker's huge night the other night, and then this one as well. I feel like he was on a mission to show and outplay SGA in this one, which he did, and they got the win. So I think when it comes to MVP, you got to look at things like that, how they play up against each other, because it's obviously two good teams, obviously both the best players in their respective teams. So I mean, Joker outduels SGA in this matchup, and we'll wait for that revenge game and see how that plays out. But I think, like I said, those Nuggets are going to be a tough one to beat come playoff time, especially for the young Nuggets. I mean, the young Thunder.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, the Nuggets only. 100%. I understand Denver had Holmes, Alex, Aaron, not Alex, Aaron Gordon, Julian Strawther are out tonight.
Yep.
So they went 8 guys. It almost seemed like a playoff game for them.
Mm-hmm.
You look at a night ago, 2 nights ago, I believe it was. They depend. I mean, it's 1 o'clock, so whatever. They lose to this team, and then they come back and they beat them, kind of down a couple guys.
Right.
Like you said, statement game. I love it, man. I mean, they beat them, and then Denver comes back and says, "Hey, listen,
Oh, wait a minute.
hey, Joker,
Wait a
yeah, like
minute.
wait a minute, like y'all cute, y'all fancy, y'all young, like the young kids say, like got aura, but you get 35 from Joker, and then Jamal Murray looking like this guy that we all kind of fell in love with in 2020, man, with 34." Like,
Yep.
and if you really start getting Jamal Murray back to this caliber, all-star guard caliber, this team becomes very scary. In my opinion, because people are like, "Oh, Kate should get MIP, most improved player." To me, that goes to Christian Braun, respectfully speaking, as of right now, 14, 5 and 5. Absolutely balling this year, man. I love the way he plays. Like he doesn't like it just seems like the Nuggets just get guys that just don't do too much. They really just like they're worried about more moving the ball, taking their open shots, and just keep rolling and rolling. But
I mean, they even calmed Russell Westbrook down, man. I mean,
yeah, man.
he
Yeah, I mean,
played
six for
well
ten.
as
He shot great. Six
yeah,
for 10, man.
3 for 5 from 3-point line.
Yeah,
16,
like,
5 and 7. That's some.
but
That's
this
some
is
Russell
what you
Westbrook
need to
stuff.
beat teams like OKC, man.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Let's get into the game that just finished.
The New York Knicks.
New York, New York. I was watching this game a little bit as we were streaming on our personal Twitches. We were playing Marvel Rivals again. I'm Grandmaster. Holla at your boy. But yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to go too deep into this, man. We lost Jalen Brunson for a little bit, but the Knicks come out, they win a game that they're supposed to. No Sabonis on the other side. You look at this game and you're like, okay, no Brunson. You're expected to win, but who's going to come out and show and score some buckets? I mean, listen, Miles McBride showed up. He came to ball. He said, "No point guard, no Capitan. I got you 32 from him, 7-11 from the field, 4 for 5 from the 3 point line." I looked at the game and he was like 5 for 5 after before I shut it off. Oh, I'm bugging. Sorry, 21. Sorry. I was
Yeah, I was
reading
like,
plus and minus.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, sorry. 21 from him. But you look at guys who need to step up, in my personal opinion, and that's Cat. Cat, I mean, was dealing with issues outside of basketball. So you kind of
Right.
versus the Lakers in the game before this, you kind of were like, ah, okay. But he looks like he's back. He's been very slow since All-Star break. He's dealing with this like knee issue, and you really hope it doesn't become too much of an issue. Josh Hart, the Hart and so no pun intended on Hart, solo to this team, 18 points. I mean, this guy is just
Everywhere.
it just almost feels like a steal that we got him now for one draft first rounder in Cam Reddish. This guy just I don't know, man. Like you look at his stats and it's like, oh well, Josh Hart's not a great 3 point shooter. Let's leave him open. He's just boom, 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 4 for 6 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
OG Anunoby, who I love defensively, I kind of sometimes question offensively, like
What he
he
gonna
can't
give
really
you?
dribble, so yeah. So it's like it's good to see him score 24. Like I said, with this Knicks team is very, very tricky. Because it almost comes down to too much of Brunson on a pick and roll or isolation.
Right.
And you love team wins like this where you got 21 from McBride, 15 from Bridges, who we were supposed to do a pod the night of that Laker Nick game, the day after. I was gonna come on this pod and just say, what is Bridges doing? Like that guy just looks so scared out there sometimes. He's shooting with no confidence. But it's a 6 for 10, 1 for 3 from three, 15 points. And then if he can give you anywhere from 12 to 18 points alongside what Anunoby's 12 to 18 points a night, I think this team's in a very good spot.
Right.
I really look to when Brunson comes back because that should be a couple weeks away. Um, What's your starting five? Do you go Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Cat with Mitch, or do you just stay with the short lineup with Hart and Anunoby playing your forwards and Cat at the center?
Right.
So team has a lot of questioning things. I want them to play Tyler Kolek a little bit more, but whatever. They signed PJ Tucker, who I like because I think this team needs an enforcer. Because I feel like this team it's a little soft sometimes, man. They get bounced around, and you got somebody getting in somebody's face, pushing somebody. So it's good to get like a veteran like PJ Tucker, man. But that will wrap us up for the NBA. Steve, anything from the Nick game that you got for me? Your Lakers beat me a couple nights ago. You got
Nah,
something
I
for me,
mean,
man?
like it's always good to see your team come out victorious, especially when one of your star players is down and they can gel like
Yep.
that. So it's always good to see that because obviously anything can happen. Or if your star player's not playing well enough, you want to see those other players shine. So that's exactly what the Knicks did today without Brunson. So that's a positive note in that. So I mean, nothing but good things to say right here about the Knicks right
Yeah.
now. You always want to see your team competing in the playoffs because we just bring that energy, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wraps up NBA. We'll
I don't wait. Talking about energy, talking about the Knicks tonight, sold out MSG Monday Night Raw live and in action took over.
oh, yep.
I see you forgot that alley oop, New York to New York, man.
I mean that's true. They were in New York today. It wasn't a big Raw. Like nothing crazy happened. Obviously, the main event was the main event, and
Yeah,
it was a good one at that. But besides that, it was just a lot of
I mean,
filler for the most part. You
if yeah.
Yeah, you opened up with Jay Uso versus Grayson Waller, which was it was a good match until it wasn't, with all the interference and all that stuff. So I wasn't like I don't like what they're doing with Jay Uso. I feel like now they're gonna run into that stupid thing that they do where the good guy's a tag team with the bad guy to fight uh A Town down. So I think that's kind of where they're leading to, and they're gonna see if you can coexist and stuff. And I'm just like, we've seen this plenty of times.
Mhm.
Obviously, Triple H is in charge, so he probably is gonna throw us a curveball somewhere around there. I hope so, because I don't want to see Jey Uso teaming up with Gunther in a tag team. Like, I just don't want to see that. I think they
Mhm.
can take this story somewhere else and make it more entertaining than what it is right now. Because right now, all everybody's eyes is somewhere else, which is not right. Because like Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, so we're supposed to be excited for him and want to watch that. But instead, everyone's more excited about everything else, which kind of sucks for him. I just think they need to beef up that storyline somehow, some way, and do it fast. Cause like you have the Punk, Seth Rollins thing kind of heating up. You got Cody Rhodes Cena thing. Like we don't know what's gonna happen, which is like has everyone on their tippy toes to see what happens when Cena comes back. So I don't know. They got to do something with that storyline ASAP, especially since he won the Royal Rumble. It's supposed to main event. I don't know which day, but yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
my take on that first little opening to Raw.
yeah. Like I said, it was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I agree that the storyline needs to beef up a little bit. But like I said, let's see what Triple H has coming for us.
Yeah, like
Like you said, it felt like almost like a little filler episode. If you watch
yeah,
anime, this is like when the animations go down. We cut a little budget before a big fight, and obviously the big fight is WrestleMania. So
like have Gunther go take out Jimmy, bleed him up or something. I don't know. Do something. Have him beat up Rakishi
yeah,
or something. I don't know.
oh, Rikishi.
I'll just do something.
Um,
Make it interesting. Like right now, it's so like whatever. They're gonna probably have a good match. Who cares? That's what
yeah,
where I'm at with that. So
yeah. Then we had a Logan Paul promo. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this is why I said filler episode. I mean, it just seems like you're trying to keep your guys healthy for a certain degree, which I completely understand. Logan Paul, chats. He goes up to what's his name? Schultz, who's in the crowd. If you know Schultz, he has a podcast with Charlemagne
comedian.
the God.
Yep.
Yeah, and good comedian, good podcast if you want to go listen to that too. And then he's like, "Yeah, we're not really here for you. Whatever, we're not here for Logan Paul. We're here for the CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, which gladly so." And then whatever, then AJ Styles comes out to help Shotzi, and then I, I'm guessing that's the WrestleMania match we're getting is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, which.
I think
Listen, Logan Paul, yeah, I might not like him in wrestling, but he's very athletic. He's
he's
learning how
pretty.
to wrestle.
I think he puts on some
Um,
banger matches for the most part,
he does. He does.
and he brings that what do you call it, that wow effect, especially on like social media and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah, and he
and
brings
he,
a lot of moxie to the WWE. So even if I don't like him, whatever,
and that's
cool,
good in
whatever.
wrestling. If you don't if you're getting booed, you're doing something right. So that's
Yeah, of
good.
course.
And they were
The
booing him tonight. Like it was
woo, he couldn't get a
loud.
word out.
It was loud.
So that I mean, listen, that's good.
Yeah.
And then we had a Terminator tag with New Day versus LWO. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, New Day won that
Yeah.
match because of an interference with a new luchador, and it was supposedly they thought it was Chad Gable, and then Chad Gable was like, "No, it wasn't me." Blah blah. But I mean, then this is when the show kind of picks up a little bit with Cody Rhodes promo.
Right.
And he's just basically telling Cena he's gonna be his ass at WrestleMania. Pretty much saying that he's that guy now. You're not that guy. Kind of a promo that you saw on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Kind of wish like I didn't like I like the part like I said, anytime Cody is on the mic, it's a good promo. Not saying that it was a bad promo, but I really wish kind of cut that one out
Yeah,
from
I
the
agree.
show. I felt like we heard him on SmackDown. I get why we heard him. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Cena's coming next Raw with The Rock,
I think
or is it SmackDown?
I think it might be next one, next Raw.
Yeah, so I understand why it's there, but what do you think about that Bailey and well, what do you think about the promo before we get into Bailey and Raquel?
So obviously, you kind of expect that from Cody. It's kind of his kind of thing to get like fired up and like want to beat
Yeah,
somebody up. I feel like they should have did the opposite, where he should have felt like kind of heartbroken and not understanding like how he was when it initially happened.
yeah,
So I feel like it would have played such a bigger mind game on him, and it would have been such a much better story than to be like, all right, he did it, whatever. I'm gonna kick your ass whenever I see you next time. I felt like it would have been so much more impactful for him to be like all let down and like emotionally hurt and discouraged, like because like it's John Cena. It's not like
yeah,
someone else doing it. It's someone that has probably since he debuted. Since I mean, he wasn't really a bad guy, but he just played that bad guy role. But everyone loved him anyways.
mm,
But for him to actually turn heel like the way he did was like you want him to be in shock like how everyone else was. So I think they should have played that role instead of the whole like
yeah.
I'm gonna beat you up type of thing when I
Like
see
John
you.
Cena, why'd you do it? You're my
Yeah,
hero.
yeah, like
You're
something,
everybody's
like
hero.
something like that. It would, I think it would have made it way more interesting. And then whenever he came back, like then he like tells him off or whatever he's gonna say to Cody. I'm not sure how they're gonna play that angle as
Yeah,
well. But I think when that happened, then you can see you you build up on that frustration, and then you get those fiery promos. I think would have been a better build up because now it's like, what do you do? He already did the fiery one twice.
yeah, it's
It's like
100%. And
you
then
get them in the ring and they have a mic off and then they fight like that. That kind of is all you kind of have left now. Well, a promo
yeah,
from
I mean,
Cena and then a face to face is kind of what they got left.
yeah, 100%. I just feel like I mean, obviously this is their main. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I'll say this, like I said, this was the fill episode, but Triple H low-key been cooking.
Hmm.
Um, it, this is like your almost like your main storyline, your main event, almost night one or two, we don't know. It's almost setting up to be Cody needs somebody there for him to defeat John Cena and The Rock.
Right.
So kind of see who he going into WrestleMania, who he picks up as an ally. I mean, we've heard Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, there's names floating around. I mean, Ric Flair's tweeting. Ric fucking Flair's tweeting. So
I
I
don't
mean,
want as much as I love Stone Cold. Last time he was in the ring with against when he had that match against Kevin Owens, and then last year was it last year or something? Yeah,
nah, last year he was supposed to be there, but then he got
it was
Undertaker like
Undertaker.
last
Yeah,
second. Last time, I
he
think the last thing was Kevin Owens.
he scares me moving around there. He gives me a little my little heart starts pumping a little bit because he's a little on the old side. His knees are a little busted up, so I don't want to see him
Yeah,
in the ring. If he's gonna stunner someone, cool. That's it. That's all I want to see.
yeah.
That's it.
And then we had Bailey versus Raquel, which was a good match.
Yeah, that was a very good
Again,
match.
you had some outside interference. Raquel wins the match versus Bailey. I listen, I like Raquel. She like when you see her wrestle, she's a pretty good wrestler. Um, all right, like I want to see her kind of get in that intercontinental championship
Picture, yeah.
picture-ish. But if that happens, then what happens with Liv Morgan? So yeah, I mean, not a lot of takeaways from this match. Bailey takes a pin like every other week nowadays. It seems like Jesus Christ.
Someone's got to do it. But yeah,
Yeah,
then you had the whole Io Sky and Rhea Ripley and Bianca
Bianca.
segment, which I don't get. I don't know what's
It's
happening.
interesting though, because it's like you're supposed to have EO versus Bianca Belair, and then it's like, but Rhea Ripley's still in the picture. So it's like, are you doing a singles match? Are you doing a triple threat match? I liked it for a sense of it just almost feels like everyone just doesn't like EO's won, but it doesn't seem like she won. She's not really the champion. They
Right.
still think Bianca and Rhea have this like beef still. So it's like I like that they made her like, nah, and slap both of them like I'm the champion. I'll see whoever in WrestleMania. Like So
Yeah,
I
figure
love
it out.
Io in the ring. She's a great wrestler.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I hope it's not a triple threat match. Cause I
Hmm.
have a feeling he'll take the pin.
Io.
That's how I don't want that to happen. Cause then, what was the point of all this? You could have just made someone else take the belt
Yeah.
off Liv. So I don't know. We'll see. I have faith in Triple H. He shocked me once so far, so we'll see where that goes. And then obviously we had the steel cage match main event, which was
Yes, sir.
amazing. Punk took a
Yeah.
big ass bump from the top of the cage. He took a suplex. Overall, this match was amazing. Didn't like the way it ended,
100%.
but I'll take it because of where the story looks like where it's going. As much as I didn't want it to happen, it looks like that's where they're heading. Um, it ended with Seth doing like a super stomp to Punk off the top turnbuckle, and then he kind of just was just looking at him like he wanted to do more, or they didn't want to escape basically wanted to punish him more, and that's
Yeah.
what he was about to do. And then we got the shock return of Roman Reigns, and he just
Yes, sir.
dragged Seth Rollins down, and just started beating him. So technically, Seth Rollins won. But then Roman Reigns just dragged all Seth Rollins around the ring. He was about to do a stomp. Oh no, he did stomp him, and then he was gonna stomp him
Yeah.
again on the steps. And then he went in the
Hmm.
ring and saw CM Punk with the Wise Man, and he didn't take too fond of that. So he went in there and started beating the crap out of CM Punk, and then
And
hit him with a
speared him.
spear, and then you had Paul Heyman in the corner just like praying or something. but but
No,
yeah,
no, no.
it was pretty cool. I wish we would have got a definitive winner because now it's like it's one up. They got to run it back now. So
Yeah.
now there's got to
Kind of got to
be
run it back.
a third match somewhere down the line. But looks like we're gonna get that triple threat for Mania.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I mean, you kind of wish it was for like a title almost because these guys are just, these three guys are kind of like your big guys. But like I said, WWE is at a point right now where they have so many big names right now that can sell out events.
Right.
But I think that match is going to be great. But you wish it was for a title, but they'll put on a banger for sure.
I feel like that's when he'll call his favor Punk during that match, and it'll lead him to win somehow. I feel like because where's his favor going now if it's a triple threat, he's gonna have to use this so-called favor against Paul Heyman, and
yeah,
then Paul Heyman's kind of picking sides during the match, like he don't know who to help. Kind of like how they did with Lesnar and Roman back in a couple months back or last year, whenever that happened. So I see
yeah,
some type of that playing in, and we'll see. Obviously, there's about to be some fiery promos from all three of them, and I'm excited for each one of them because they're all pretty good on the mic. Roman used to
yeah,
suck at the mic, but now he's really good, so thank God. And I'm excited to see what Punk's gonna say because Punk's gonna light him up, and Seth's gonna be pissed off at Roman, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes. Obviously, amazing main event, but like I
hmm
said, with this main event, there's nothing on the line, and you can see how Jay and Gunther's stuff is just getting lost in the shuffle.
yeah,
Like you can't
100%.
like, even though he's earned that main event, it's like how do you not put this triple threat? He either has to start Mania or end it. Like I don't see one of the nights.
Yeah,
Obviously not the second one, but either the first night has to either start Mania or end it. And that's what I mean. Like they have to beef that stuff up so they don't lose them in the mix, and that's kind of what's happening.
yeah, 100%. But that wraps up pretty much everything we got for today.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Ski.
we got song of the day. I don't remember who had it, who went first last time. Was it me or you? I think it was you, right?
Hmm.
I don't know. I'll kick it off. I got Mr. K. Dot, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Kung Fu Kenny, whatever he wants to go by.
Kung Fu
Um,
Kenny.
putting on I went with Count Me Out today. I feel like this song, personally speaking, is an absolute masterpiece from him. But yeah, what you got, Steve?
So sometimes I don't listen to music much driving into work. So I didn't listen to much today. So I just kind of hit the whole shuffle. and it came out to
Yeah.
some. It's pretty OG here. So if you know him, you know him. If you don't, then you better look him up and take some listen. It's some Big L,
Mm,
some all black Big L, and
that is a
that's
very
that's a
much OG.
that's a banger right there.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
That's an OG right there.
that's, so if you don't know him, do your homework today. Listen to some Big L. You won't be disappointed. Fortunately, he passed away a long time ago, but you know,
Yeah.
he still got some bangers out there that you can listen to, and definitely worth your while there if you're a big hip hop fan like us. So that's my song. Well, I wouldn't say my song of the day. It's my shuffle of the day, I guess. But yeah, man, it wraps up episode 4. Keep in tune with our Twitter. We'll update you guys there on some lives and other daily updates, and like we put our CDL predictions on there, and anything crazy that happens on there we put on there as well.
Yep.
So make sure you go follow that. It's just at the Sandlot Bros on Twitter. Follow it. Keep up to date. And obviously, thank you for everyone who's watching here at the live stream. Thank you
Yeah,
for
man.
everyone who's gonna be watching on YouTube
Yep.
whenever this is posted. And then keep liking the videos, comment anything you want us to that's been going on in sports worlds or music or gaming that's been going on that you want us to touch upon, talk about, have questions about, our opinions about it. And we'll just dive into that, keep us interacted with y'all as well, so that we're just not going through some news. We want your input and what you guys want us to talk about as well.
Yep.
All right, so we'll catch you on the next one on episode 5. Let you know when that's done. He's gonna do his little camera shows over here.
Whatever. It'll just be this one today, I guess. I don't know.
All
Yep.
right, y'all have a good night, good morning, or good afternoon whenever you guys are watching this. We'll see y'all for the next one. Peace out.
Later.